Well, welcome back to beautiful sunny wherever we are. We are back from the paint booth. The car is behind me, as you can see, and glossy, as you can see. Beautiful, beautiful, sweet paint. So we've let it dry for a couple days. We're now going to start putting it back together. Brandon's going to come back at some point, and we're going to fix some little nibs. We're going to give her a quick buff. Not too extensive, because the finish is pretty nice, so we don't have to go too far. And we'll start assembling and get it ready for the show. So sorry that this video is in black and white, but you're going to have to wait until driven to see the color of this beautiful car. So what we're going to do now is start making a list of things that we have to do to get it ready for the show. So there is interior stuff. We've got some mounting stuff we've got to fix. We got a couple things, some lights we got to add. We're going to put the tail lights back in. We got to fix the rear bumper a little bit and mount it up. Put some, tail lights in it. Put the reverse lights back in it. Do all kinds of stuff like that. I got some painting to do underneath on the rocker panels. I had sanded and got rid of some of the rust down there. We're going to fix that and get this ready to go. Now seems to be more of an oil leak than there was before. I can tell by the remnants on the actual trailer, and I think it's coming from the valve cover at the top. I'm not quite sure. We haven't really been able to take it for much of a drive. It's more just on and off the trailer, starting it, kind of rev it up a little bit, whatever. There's a couple little gremlins I want to try and fix because I'm not quite sure what's going on. So basically, when I give it the beans, when I'm under load, it makes a hell of a racket as I'm giving it the gas. So while it's not under load, it's fine. It seems to run fine and rev up and do all kinds of things. But when it starts to drive, there's something going on. So anyway, I'm going to investigate that. For now, I'm just going to start putting on some panels. I'm going to put some felt in between the metal bracket and the paint because we don't want it to kind of get any more damaged, or we don't want metal on paint. We want to kind of have a little buffer there in between. So as you watch as we go along here and put this thing back together, you'll see this thing just take a huge transformation. And like I still can't even believe how nice it looks. So I cannot wait for that car show. It is going to be so much fun, and I hope to see you guys all there. Whoever can make it, we will still do a little live and kind of showcase the car and the show and what all the hype was about, why we really wanted to get this car there. So let's get to work, because I think we've only got 24 days until driven. Woo! So not a lot of time, but we're getting it going. Also wanted to point out one thing. This here, we've got a bit of a chip or chunk out of the window. We had an unfortunate mishap, as I'm not sure if I explained before, but this trim piece where a third brake light would go in a later year, we couldn't get that piece off when we wanted to take the back window out. So I had to take the window off and place it up against the wall where we were painting it. When I unwrapped it, we were all kind of working around in different areas. Brandon said, "Hey, you need some help?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And as I was taking off the last piece of plastic, it slipped and rubbed itself against the floor and chipped off a bunch of this glass. So now I need a new glass. For now, we're going to try and fill it with epoxy or something, kind of smooth it out. We now got some tape on it just to kind of protect anybody from getting cut or anything like that, because it is pretty sharp. So I'm going to try and fill that as well. We've got the wing to fix, and as well as the rest of the mirrors need to go on as well. So yeah, lots to do. We're going to dive right into it. I might cover some of this stuff in more detail later if somebody's interested in what we're doing exactly, like the fixing the roof, putting in some new seals all around, things like that. I'm going to try and get the window seals in, and the felt and all this kind of stuff. We're trying to get that ready to go as well. So I'll try to get more in depth on that, but basically we're running out of time. I need to just get to work. So I'd like to keep you guys updated, so we're just going to keep going. Let's go. All right, and we are back after painting the trims. The trims are good. I've installed them on the door. You can see here, got a bit of trim. Oh, Brandon has got some buffing juice on it. That's okay. We'll get all that off later. But that's on, and now we're going to start putting in some more pieces here. Mr. Brand has come by, and he's starting to buff the car and get it ready for the show. So a couple nibs here and there. I mean, you're going to get maybe a few pieces of dirt. Maybe a dozen, I'd say.
You're going to get dirt.
Yeah.
No paint job, I find, comes out of the booth perfect. I mean, you'll get the odd job that, yeah, it's perfect. And it's like, you don't have to buff anything. Especially doing a huge car, you're going to get dirt. I do that right from the get-go going into this. But the finish alone, this is what my finish has come out as. I could have done 5 more coats of clear, but then you could have some pop issues and not drying properly, and I wanted to avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
You have plenty of clear. I've already blocked that side. This is all 2000 grit. I'm gonna hit it with 3000 to be able to buff, and then this is gonna be done. It's gonna be super smooth. It's gonna be glossy. You do the same process on the entire car. Just gotta take my time. Don't want to cut through. So it's one of those things. You just don't rush. Do it right, and then end result looks crazy.
So yeah, we're looking forward to now. We're not getting, Bondo dirted. We are now getting buffing dirted.
I'm in sandals and like clean clothes ish, because I am getting dusty.
Hopefully, it won't ruin anything going forward.
All my clothes are ruined. I gotta go clothes shopping.
So that's a 2000, and this was it before. So, dang, that looks good. Holy. And I'll show you around this side. We now have a door handle. This door handle has not worked since I bought it, and it now works. I'll test it for you. There it goes. And it closes. The only thing is the locks have been destroyed. I will have to replace those at some point. Not too worried about it. As of now, the side piece is on semi-permanently. We'll determine if it is a permanent solution yet. We have put some felt on the mounts. It's now stuck to the car and making my way around. So just basically putting some new parts on the car now, which is super exciting. And we're just going to keep going. I mean, Brandon is just a machine. He is killing it at the moment.
It's all about the finish work. This is the what you don't see. People who have nice cars at shows, like this, wet sanding, like color sanding and buffing, goes into getting a beautiful finish as you can.
And that is what we already have as far as I'm concerned, but obviously this has come a long way since you guys first saw it. But yeah, this is incroyable, as they say. I keep talking French, but whew, that finish is incredible. We're going to keep busting our butts along. We have a tornado warning, and we're enjoying that as well while we're working. So let's go. We're back another day. I've been very poorly recording this process as we go and try and rush to get this done. As you can see, Brandon's now moved to the hood and he's going to be buffing the hood. While he's doing that, we are working on some slick park lights or some fog lights. So these fog lights right here, I just posted about them today or last night, getting some good reviews. Thank you for that. We're going to make these sequential. So if we don't have time to put the halo rings in, then at least we'll get this done instead. So basically what's going to happen here is I've already done one as a trial before I post about it, in case I did it wrong. And I cut the face off of it, cut a piece of polycarbonate, if I can get it out of here, right here, and sanded it to 320 on one side to kind of phase out the, so it's not so clear. And fill it with LEDs. So I've got a little mock-up here in the wall. You'll see that going as we go through here, but Brandon's going to make a lot of noise right now. He's patiently waiting for me to finish talking because I talk too much. And I'm going to get started. So watch along as we go through this, and I'll show you how I'm going to wire them up, solder them, and whatnot, and then we'll get them on the car so we can attach the bumper. So let's go.
Very good.
Time to get noisy. Down. Okay, so we've got some lens action here. As you saw with the oscillating tool, I took these apart. The second one didn't fare out so well. It was a little drier than this one, and it wasn't as flexible. So we've got a bunch of cracks I'm fixing on the other one. We're going to sand it and kind of polish it, maybe hopefully make it better. And we've got the two pieces of plastic here that are buffed. They use 320 grit on this side, as you can feel, or here. It is a little rough, but when you look through the light, it diffuses it so you don't see the LED marks, because our friend Uncle Dan does not like to see the LEDs. So if you don't know our friend Dan, you will meet him. He's a super guy, and he gave me some great tips. So we're going to follow what Dan has to say. Now that these are cut and prepped, I had trimmed out some of these pieces. There was some chrome pieces here that kind of extruded through here to match up to the lens, so these could be separated. I eliminated those, and what we're going to use is a piece of aluminum composite panel. So there's aluminum on either side and then plastic in the middle, super light and rigid. And this is going to go on here, and then this is going to go on there. So what is going to happen here is these are going to get all sandwiched together and glued at some point. But I'm going to create the LED strips onto here. Again, this is only temporary. This is just for this year, just to kind of see if I like it. And then if that's the case, we'll get some proper boards made, like we did with the taillights and the halo rings. But we just don't have time to order them in right now. So I'm just going to get going. I'm going to put these on the car, start soldering some strips. I do have a roll of SK6812 RGBW. So there is a pure white in there as well. And we'll just put on time lapse and we'll start soldering these, take some measurements of where exactly it's going to be. And then, yeah, we'll have some cool lights here very shortly. Okay, so we got them all wired up. I made the first one a little more complicated for some reason. I just tried to be all fancy with the wiring and stuff. Just stay basic. There's no reason to go crazy. As you can see, you're probably wondering why I added an extra 5-volt lead on the other end of this strip, and it's kind of like a power injection, so to make sure that we don't get any drop off of signal or power throughout this strip. Now, it's not very big, but it's also just good precaution, I would think. So we've got our 5-volt DC converter here from 12 to 5 volts, and we're just going to connect the 5 volts to here. We're going to do a little bit of testing. I've got a cheapy little SP105E controller. I got it from Amazon. It's like $5. And yeah, basically you just connect 5 volts. You got a phone app that controls it, and we'll just plug it in, see what happens. Make sure I didn't miss any soldering and stuff, and then we'll do it again. And looks like one of the strips is not lighting up, so we kind of have a look here and see. I must have missed a ground. It's positive to there. Positive, positive, ground. And it should be grounded. No, it's not. So we need to add a ground wire. No problem. Where did I put that ground? I thought I had added the ground. Well, I guess I added it in the wrong spot. That's right, because I was going to take the 5-volt and go over. No, it should still go, unless the ground needs to be here. We can test this with a little piece of wire. See if it's the ground that's the issue. And come on now. Connect the ground. Do the ground. There we go. Ground to the ground. And no. Nothing. Oh, I see what's happening here. Just unplug that. Make sure. So the data cable or the data line is incorrect. The two bottom strips are going the same way. So they need to be removed and redone. This Gorilla super glue is insane, by the way. And we want to go back this way, so we'll go this way. Now again, this is just temporary. I would like it to be permanent, but I don't know how long these strips are going to last, so I'm not going to count on them lasting very long. I'm just going to use them for car show, maybe this season, and then we'll see how that goes. Whew. Okay, so I assume that you know a little bit about LED strips, maybe you don't. This particular set has an arrow. It shows the direction of in which it runs. So basically there's a, because they're sequential, there is information that comes in and information that comes out. And basically what happens is you have to run in the same direction. It won't take information the wrong way. So it has to go in and out. There's a DI and a DO. So data in, data out. And the in is coming from here. This is going to go from the car into this strip, and it's going to run like this all the way through. So because it's in a pattern like this, we call this a matrix, and this is going to allow me to do different kind of show modes and things like that. Not just having it as a one long strip, it's going to be able to do different stuff. I'm not sure yet. I've never had a sequencer on this yet, but this will be fun to try. So the whole reason I'm doing this is because this didn't take too long, even though in hindsight I messed up the first one, had to redo it. But this was to go in place of the halo hexagons that go in the rendering, because I wasn't sure if I was going to finish on time before the big show. So now these are done. I'm going to slap them back together. I got the other one drying over there. I had to put some glue on one of these. It was starting to come apart. So they're very fragile. You can't really solder much to it. And yeah, you have to be very careful. So we'll give it a test. We'll see if this works. Ah, there it goes. So I had one in the wrong spot. I had the positive into the negative over on this side. Now it was kind of rubbed off here. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it's rubbed off. I can't really see it. So that was my mistake. My mistake. So yeah, that's it. Looks pretty nice. Just gonna heat this soldering iron up, and you know what? I'm actually just gonna cut this. I don't need it. And that's it. We have lightage. So then this goes on top. Hopefully it's still okay. You can see. Gives it a nice diffused look here. You know, I could sand it some more and kind of make it more diffused, but I think it's good enough for what it is. So I'm going to seal up all these connections with some glue and let it dry, and then we'll assemble. And I will put the front bumper back on the car, so then we can start assembling the front lip, and then we can get the rest of the car put together. So let's go. Okay, now this is done. So we've got it RTV'd, kind of shut for now. We'll do some testing. We've got the hole blocked off, and I've soldered on a nice waterproof connector. And where does that go? Does this go in here? Where's the other piece? Uh-oh. I lost the piece. Shoot. So there's supposed to be a threaded piece that goes on here that connects to this one. And I guess I didn't put it on beforehand. Anyway, we'll take them apart again and do that. But for now, it's fine. So, yeah, this is the piece we need. And this goes on here. It's supposed to go on here. Dang it. Red and yellow and black, and the yellow is the data wire, and then you've got your positive and negative. So normally green on some of these, but I'm just going to convert to yellow, and that's going to be just fine. So we'll have one of these at the front of the car, which is this end, or this end, and then this end will accept it behind the light, and we'll tuck the wire harness and stuff. Really nice. The gauge is super big, probably like 14 gauge. And it's also waterproof, so that's going to help. And we've got one in already, so now we're going to put this other one in. This is the stupidest design I've ever seen, as far as, I mean, easy to take out. However, you need to take the front bumper off in order to get them off, which is terrible because you break one of these and you're basically disassembling the whole front of the car. So this side is a spring. It's a metal bracket that springs in and out. So you put this end in, and then the bolts go through right there. And there you have it. They're in. Now we're going to put the front bumper cover on. The lenses are kind of shot, on here. As you can probably see, some flaws and dark spots and stuff. I tried to sand and clear them. There was a lot of repairs on the one that was all cracked. So basically we're going to run with these for now. I'm going to look into maybe making some new ones or something. But right now we need to keep moving forward, obviously. And yeah, we can't get stopped by the small stuff. We have to do what we can in our control and just keep moving. So we've made a bigger mess, or a smaller mess. So we have the bigger mess of wires. They no longer run up to the front. They're all now back here. I've got all of them labeled, the ones I don't need at the moment. I just need signals, park lights, and a ground, basically, for this ghost controller to have it do running lights and daytime running lights and whatnot. The rest of it will be put on later. As you can see, this portion of the car is not completed. We're going to put some lights in it, not these ones, but different ones. So I just want to show you how this is all going to work. So I've created a nice loom here, which you can see runs up through the car. We're going to tie that down at some point. And it goes up inside the firewall, and this will all be covered with a panel. Back over here, we've got a nice loom. It runs up to the fog lights, the new fog lights. You can't even see it. Fantastic. So there is a data wire, 5 volt, and a ground per fog light. Now running into the car is another little mess, That's okay. We've got the ghost controller, the 5-volt converter from 12 to 5 volts, and we've got all the wiring run up underneath. So the signal wire for the blinkers and all that kind of stuff is right there. It's great. Now we're going to wire all this up. I've got switched power up there, which I have a master cutoff switch, which I'm going to relocate down there at some point. But for now, we're going to wire this up, and we're going to give those lights a test. So in the background, Emily is tirelessly sanding. We're a little exhausted, but we're okay. We're okay. We're getting there. She's going to lay some more resin on this. We've had a bit of a chemical reaction with some wax and grease remover. The resin didn't like it, as well as the black spray paint I sprayed on here. I didn't really like that as well. So we're going to do small layers or thin layers now instead of thicker layers, and we're hoping that that is going to work out. So back to the car. Okay, so now we are on to the plastic additions. So remember in the last video, we cut the pieces out of cardboard. Now, instead of getting the place to cut it, we are going to try and cut it ourselves. Or at least I will, as Brandon's at home tonight. So, I got a cool little saw, a little 4-inch circular saw, as well as this straight line doohickey. We're going to try and put that together and get this sorted out. So, I'm going to go ahead and get the pieces out of the truck. This is 1/4 inch ABS, so it is quite thick, and it should hopefully stand up to the test of time, as well as the test of our Canadian streets. So yeah, we will try and start cutting some pieces. I'm going to lay the piece down, lay some tape around, draw on the tape, and then hopefully that will help me cut out these pieces correctly. Now I'm very nervous. This piece of plastic was very expensive, so we're going to try and get that going. And then hopefully get them put on as well very soon. As of now, it is less than 2 weeks till the Driven Car Show, and less than 4 days for the photo shoot that is going to hopefully help us get into the eBay Motors booth, which is going to happen this Friday evening. And I hope I get to post this video before then, but I'm not sure because I think there won't be much time. So hopefully I'll post it by that weekend, which is like the 11th or 11th? Something, no, it was just the 11th? 16th, something like that. Anyway, let's get to work.
all on there. Looking slick.
Now we're going to mount the lip. As I move my way over here, let's see what Brandon's up to. Here.
So we can get a line and I can hold this side, and you go underneath, fill a hole. Another one.
Yeah, the center I can't do.
Oh no?
Never think that.
Little more?
Again.
Very like. On the ground. I like how it's slower. If it's fast, it just feels too busy. You don't have the appreciation to look at everything. You want to just. That one's nice. The purple and the green.
Green, yeah, I like that. Whee! Okay, so as you've seen, we have created some splitters. We've added those onto the car. We added some crazy like arrow on the front of it, on the side of it, tied it all together. Looks amazing. I did take apart the taillights again. I took the tint off of them. They're a little lighter than they were as far as just sitting here, but I think it doesn't really matter. The lights are much brighter. It's going to obviously help with safety and things like that. So now we're working on the interior. A little late to be working on the interior, but basically just whipping it together because I've got about a week left till the show. Tomorrow, friends of ours are supposed to come over and take some videos and photos of the car before the show, so then we can do a reveal on the show, some nice video footage and stuff. So I'll link in the description of the next video those guys and them helping us out with this car. So yeah, it's incredible. There's still some massaging to do. I might take the vinyl off the window. I got to get some carpet in there, so and to get started on that. For now, I want to make sure you guys get a video out and you can see the progress of what's going on. Again, I'm sorry I can't show you the color of the car, but you will see it very soon. In like a week, you'll see it. So hang in there. Subscribe if you've not subscribed already. Instagram is blowing up. YouTube's kind of at a standstill. But you guys are still great. I appreciate you all watching these videos. On Instagram is where all the updates are, basically. Every single day I post there. And yeah, it's incredible. So little things to button up. I just can't forget something, and I know I might. And yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. So As you can see behind me, we have a ginormous mess. Ginormous mess. So, yeah. What's left to go in the car? Seals, window trim in the front, door windows, door regulators, door handles inside. The mirrors have to be finished. They're ready for little spritz of paint. The wing was basically done, and a mosquito flew into the epoxy last night. So it's stuck in there forever. There's a blip on it. I can't leave it like that. I have to fix it. And now I have to wait for that to dry because it's super thick and it's kind of gummy, so it's not ready to be sanded yet. So that's a problem. Also have to touch up the wheels. There's a couple scuffs here and there, so I got to get the important stuff done before the show, which we will, and that is next week. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Stay tuned. Lots more to come. Take care.